can switch it on, and we are live. We are here. Woohoo! Hello, everybody, to episode I lost count. 8, I think. Yeah, because last time we thought it was 6, but then it turned out to be 7. So I think this is number 8. And the second time we have guests. We have none other than the team behind Brazen and Bold. So yeah, move aside. It's like they stream every Monday on their Twitch.
Anyway,
the BB Prop Show. So go check them out, whether you're watching this now live or on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link to their social medias and their Twitch also down in the comments. And they stream every Monday. And we welcome them to the show.
Thank you for having us.
To the Hot Glue is Hot. So, usually we have a kind of a topic list ready for when just me and Lara do the show. Kind of too busy this week to prep like a subject list, but since we have guests and there are viewers, like whether they're watching this now or in 6 months when they're binge watching podcasts, and they don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you got into cosplay, and all that. Like, do you have this cool entry of how you got into cosplay? A brazen story.
Do we have a cool entry story?
I mean, no.
We have a cool, probably normal entry story how we got into prop building. I mean, if we ignore the reenactment and steampunk and stuff we did before.
Which we did before. So we were kind of accustomed to making our stuff. We were just frustrated that the merchandise we were willing to buy wasn't available. So we decided, then we're gonna make it ourselves. It actually started out with the prop that's staring me in the face right now. Do you mind, since we're on camera, I can actually show you stuff?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, we are here in our extremely professional studio, aka their workshop, with a curtain.
Yes, I need to cut in for a quick bit. Bloody Baroness saying, Wayne, you're super quiet. That happened last time as well, so I'm gonna intermit to our screen slide stuff, and I'm gonna up the gain on my microphone still. And if we have some feedback through your audio, then that's fine. But let's crank that up a bit to there. Okay.
Crank that soldier boy, Wayne.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's go back. And I hope that's up the gain a little bit now. So.
Yeah.
So
I was, back then, I was very big into Fallout, which I kind of still am, but not in the newer ones. And there was this game, Fallout New Vegas, and I really, really wanted a prop from that game. Didn't find any online, didn't find anything that I could get in Austria, and at some point got so frustrated I said, let's just make it ourselves, and that's where this Ballistic Fist came to be, and it's basically 2 PVC pipes, some foam cardboard, a bigger PVC pipe for my arm, and this is not like real foam, this is the sort of foam that you use for gardening. So that green soft foam, sheer foam.
Yeah.
That's why it's
on these are hot glue sticks.
Oh yeah, and that's actually fun. I felt so smart.
Bent hot glue sticks.
It's actually just.
No.
I was like, how do I do that? How do I get that form out of like solid objects? And like, let's just bend hot glue.
And it worked.
It works.
The perfect prop for the show.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it's hot glue.
It's non-hot glue.
Yeah, but it's I've never sold this one because I still think it's cool to go back and see.
Yeah.
That's not weathered, right? That's just dirt.
No, that's just dirt. This is real rust, by the way. I don't know how this got here.
Oh, you did.
I don't even know. I didn't do.
It's not weathered. It's just dirty.
It's just dirty.
Yeah, a little.
So yeah.
No, I have the same with my first props, like my first suits. It's like all gone except for the helmet. It's still on display.
Yeah, you can,
Do you still have the Iron Man?
of everything.
Yeah, you can't get rid of that. That's too good.
Oh no, the white one, the white suit is like I still have everything. Like my very first one, the one we roasted last week at Carnival. That entire suit is gone on the trash. Only the helmet still remains. War Machine the same. I still have the helmet, but the whole suit is long gone.
Sorry, I need to cover my disgusting hair. Actually, we could go. Wait, while we're talking, let's go to the chat and see what they are saying, so I can also read it.
I'm here for faces. Where are the faces? Yes, better. Well, yeah, people can hear me, but now it's on a loop through your thing. But we'll just.
Sorry, guys.
It's just how it is. People have to deal with it. Fuck it.
We have a weird setup.
Lara, stop.
Yeah, we don't have a setup where we usually can hear anything.
No, that's true.
No, what's going on?
What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm trying to find. You know when you go to Twitch and they start talking to you, like immediately, that sucks.
There first.
Yeah, hot glue is hot. Sorry, because we want to read your comments as well, guys.
Yeah.
There we go.
So to pick up where you left off, you couldn't find anything in Austria to like where stuff was available, so you made it yourself.
Never, not anywhere. So nowhere is the word. Yes.
And that arm gun from Fallout, was that the only thing you made, or did you go into like, hey, let's build the whole costume?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
so we went kind of overboard with it because when you do something, it's if you like to do something, it's worth doing it too much, you know. So after that, I actually got online and found a forum for Fallout cosplay enthusiasts called the Wasteland Outpost, which is non-existent anymore, I think.
Oh.
But the cool thing is, we later met all those people, those prominent people from that forum. We met at Dragon Con, like in real life, and it was so cool because the forum was gone, but you kind of still got to meet those people that kind of inspired you to start out. And from them, I got a link to a very shifty character called Scruffy Nerf Herder, who was selling. Hold on to your seats, gentlemen and ladies, and everybody else. Pip-Boy kits. And back then, a Pip-Boy kit was like, holy shit, they actually made a mold of the old Pip-Boy 3, the Pip-Boy 3000 clock from the Fallout 3 special edition. And it didn't fit on the arm at all. It's way too bulky. It's just, but I got my hands on two of those kits, and then we built them, and then Jojo had to sew a vault suit.
No, you got the Pimp Boy 3
Oh, I got the Pimp Boy 3 billion, because...
It sounds like you're saying Pimp Boy.
It's called Pimp Boy. That's a special item from Fallout New Vegas.
Pimping every day, son.
I have it over here, I mean.
It's gold with like little, they look like crystals. Of course, it's plastic, but... Yeah, it's called Pimp Boy.
Really? It's an actual Pimp Boy.
Yeah, it's Pimp Boy. You get it in New Vegas, I think, for one of the quests.
I can't find the Pimp Boy.
Oh no.
What are you doing?
It's only for real pimps.
He's looking for real pimps.
That's why we can't see it.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, anyway, it was like both cosplayers and prop builders, I guess.
Oh, well,
Like,
thank you. The guy with the cap is hot, staying longer here. Well, I'm the only one with a cap, so thank you very much.
We love you too, Alice.
Love you, Alice. I can't find the Pimp Boy. I put it
Alice
away.
is harassing you again.
It's fine.
It's fine. We like that. We like her.
Just lovingly ignore her.
There are
lovingly ignore her.
Like, don't hold. Oh, hey, Grimsage99 is now following.
Hey, Grimsage.
Like, the thing is, this goes on YouTube, but we don't monetize it on purpose because we want everybody to go, like, full nuts and be like, if you want to say fuck, shit, ass, cock, I don't care, just say it because we're not monetizing this anyway.
It's my favorite combination of words. You just said fuck, shit, cock, ass.
Wegenaer Arts is now following us. 3 followers. Thank you very much.
And then from that, the snowball effect, everything spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
We had to build new vault suits after the old vault suits because they weren't really accurate to the new games. And
I think everybody knows how this works, right? You start out innocent. It always starts out like innocent with one prop that you want, and then it kind of
the bug bites you, and then you go to the next thing. And
yeah.
the next thing.
Although it never really started out as the desire to create costumes in that sense at first.
No.
It started out by
but
just
then we needed
making
a costume
stuff.
to wear it.
Yeah, it's
to show
a
it
good,
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops. And before you know, you have a workshop that's bigger than your apartment, and you're a professional prop. Boom.
That's still a weird term to get like into my head, but it's
because
it's
it's
true.
I mean,
because it
before
also
you know
gets,
was 8 years, but still.
it also gets misused a lot. I think the professional term, and so that kind of has this. In some,
I'm using professional in huh?
What?
Yeah. I'm using professional meaning making your living by doing that stuff. Like actually not just making some money or being good or anything, but just that being your job. That's what I mean by professional. So I am not professional, he is. Yes.
The embodiment of a pro.
Embodiment of a pro.
Oh, that's gonna be the thumbnail on YouTube. That face.
Nice.
I wish I had like a color palette and a brush. Like
You have.
oh yeah, it's over there, but not. Like...
It's over there. We're shop.
No.
You're throwing your hat again.
Yes, because
What
I
is
don't
the
like
next
it.
hat you find to throw
I need
away?
more hats, okay?
Here, take mine.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Wayne's workshop hat would be great.
I have way too long
Damn it,
hair.
didn't work.
I can do
Once
the man
again.
bun soon. I mean, it's crazy.
Oiled once again.
So were you two seeing each other already pre-cosplay? Because for example, for me and Angela, I started cosplay in 2015, met her in 16, dating in 17, and but you two were already dating. You two
So
were,
cute.
like we have like the con
Yeah, we were-
like relationship, and then but you guys were already dating, or
Yeah, we were already dating. We were already living together we were together 4 years. But I'm looking at you.
Sure, but you.
It's loud enough. They
Okay.
can hear us. Stop correcting me. Thank you. So we were dating for 4 years.
man bun destroyed hotness. I don't have a man bun yet, so no.
There's still hope for you.
I'm going to the barber shop in 2 weeks, so
Let's see what happens. It's like an Overwatch loot crate. You just don't know what's gonna happen.
well,
Might
actually,
be-
I'm gonna go there and it's like do something.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, back to you.
Price.
Yeah, no, we met through medieval reenacting, which is, I mean, that's like the cosplay community is
From-
like a dating ground. You
Yeah,
say that?
but
And it's the
if the cosplay community is okay, if the medieval the reenactment community is something like, I don't know, what's a good dating site, professional
Parship?
Parship, okay. So if medieval reenactment partnerships, the words.
What do you want to say?
I mean that cosplay relationships are often a burning trash fire of horribleness.
Thanks.
Oh, it's a Tinder.
Exactly. No, it's the Tinder of dating sites.
Is it?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, I tried to
Basically,
make it.
basically, he's saying our relationship is trash.
Yeah.
So
Oh
Because-
no.
Not me. Him.
No.
Him. Only he said that, not me.
Angela. That's just because Angela is like so much trash, and then Wayne is just so like there's
even
just trash
trashier.
all over it now.
Really? Because I thought it was funny. That's trash.
It's trash.
It's trash.
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 You're trash.
I'm trash.
No, you're
No
lovely.
trash.
I'm just joking.
I think he said dumpster fire. So
Yeah.
Not your relationship, just like the
There are
relationships.
exceptions.
There's relationships that work, and then there's others that don't work. And when it comes to not working, then cosplay relationships often. Wait, no, don't work, okay?
Yeah.
Just leave like that. I was going into another analogy, and
You went deeper and deeper and deeper.
Some of them are based on weird anime ships. So
Yeah.
exactly.
That's true. You don't have that in the reenactment community. You have other problems in the reenactment.
Herpes is one.
I think when you, I think sometimes you see the memes, you know, when like, oh, what guys think dating a cosplay girl is like, and you see like this really sexy boudoir Patreon set, and then what it's actually like is just foam dust and glue everywhere. I think sometimes like, oh, this girl I'm dating is cosplaying. Oh, that's really hot, and it's like, no.
And then you have a woman sitting in front of a sewing machine.
Like,
haven't slept for 3 days, cursing and crying and not eating.
Oh,
and,
the pre-con cheaters. Oh yeah.
It's not
I'm
sexy.
glad
It's
we
not
were an
sexy.
established couple before we started cosplay,
I
because
would kill you.
our first like pre-con fights.
Yeah.
Was it the fights? They were kind of that was a new thing. That was definitely something we didn't have before in our relationship.
Yeah, now we have
this
it all the
doesn't
time.
go there; it goes here.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, we solved that. I packed the car.
Yeah, I
Cat.
I'm just pretty. I just stand around and look pretty.
What?
I don't know. I don't know where this conversation is going, Jojo.
So I have two possibilities now. I could say, what, you're pretty, or I could say, you're not useless. So I can go the evil route, I can go the nice
You
route.
can just
You're not
go the
useless.
shut up route.
You're not useless. You're making
That is the nicest thing
Outlet.
she said to me this year.
Let's see. Oh, let's see some of the chat. I'm desperate. Lol. A lot of trash talk here. Yes, it is. It's mainly from, well, all of us. Cat. Yes, there is a cat. My cat is eating now.
Oh, you said the
You
magic
said-
word. You summoned Sabina. You
Yes.
You
summoned
summoned
Bloody
Bloody
Baroness.
She'll probably walk by soon.
Yeah, I knew it. So I was like, oh, and Grimsage.
Oh, Grimsage is here as well.
And also has cats. So Grimsage has 4, I think. Bloody Baroness has 2, and Alice has 2 as well. So they're the cat people.
Lara, are you a cat person?
No, she's not.
I have guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs?
Yes,
Oh, they're
Aww.
cute. Guinea pigs are
they
cute.
are cute.
Our dog likes to watch
No.
guinea pigs.
Ah, there she is. There she is.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh,
Oh,
I see.
hello there.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
She always knows when I want to pick her up, so she's like, no, I don't trust
Fuck
you."
off! Like, fuck off!
Go away.
The
Hey,
thing-
you have
the
food.
thing
You want to
is-
touch me? Fuck off!
The thing now is though, Angela sits there in the corner, and now bloop, Angela's gone, and who sits in the corner? It's like my spot.
Damn.
They're cute.
Jojo, you go ahead and answer a few more questions because I'm going to change my shirt and put on a normal hat.
Yeah,
I'll be right back, guys.
bring
Sorry.
In
5.
German, I'd say Arschlochwurst, which Arschlochwurst means that's already doesn't matter anymore. But he wants to. It's
So
fine.
he's gonna have 5 hats when he's back, and lose.
I hope so.
4 before the show is done.
Probably. And then just throw him over there.
So you
Over
have,
there is our couch. We have a couch in the workshop on the other side of the screen.
So you said that you have like now a bigger shop than your apartment. So is your shop
Yeah.
like in the basement of your apartment? Where is this?
We have a workshop in the basement, and it's a hall and 2 rooms. A big room, like 5 by 7 meters, is the big room, and then we have a small room that's 2.5 by 3 meters, I think, something like that. And I mean, I can take the camera and turn it around. It's just a mess. Anyway, he's not
What
here.
workshop is not?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start here. So can you see it? Yes, you can
Yes.
see it. There's the computer, and then there is the big screen where I see all of you. This can be turned to the. It's it's mounted to the ceiling, so you can turn it like this.
Yes.
Because then you can watch something from the couch. You can see it
nice.
underneath the screen. So then there is our kitchen and the door to the hallway, and then our very professional setup. Behind this very professional setup, there is an arcade machine and a workbench, and then there is our molding and casting station with all the molding and casting stuff, and then there is a lot of molds, molds and some stuff that is not supposed to be here, and then and then you have Matt's painting corner and sculpting stuff. Yeah, and now Matt is back.
Are you showing my masturbatory?
Your masturbatory corner, yes. So now you know, and that's the.
Excuse me for a second.
Okay, I think we will now.
The king is in the house.
Done. I'm back.
That's quick. And here you have
Poor
our
Jojo.
very professional streaming setup. And we're back to the computer.
The comfy corner, as I call it.
Yeah, so
Nice.
don't get sick.
That is a big workshop.
Yes.
It is. That's a big room.
It's
And then we have a
70.
small room.
It's 70 square. So
The whole thing, yeah. And
The
in
whole
the
thing.
hallway there is material and packaging, and then we have this small room. There is another workbench, and more
shelves
shelves for more material and stuff.
and elves on those shelves.
That's big. My shop is the biggest bedroom in the apartment because I do have like a basement down on the bottom floor, but it's like 2 meters wide, 4 meters long. So it's like it is long but narrow. That used to be the old shop. Now it's the bedroom, and I have to make do. I mean, I kind of want that big of a shop. That would be the great. That would be the end goal. I almost had one, by the way, but it would be externally. But that building is now getting trashed, so it got cancelled.
Oh,
Oh, that's too bad.
I mean, when we switch place there, or do you wanna go ahead?
I just wanted to say so we're right underneath our apartment, which is it's a small house with a basement. We have small windows in the basement, so completely underneath the earth. So you have to go a few steps up to our apartment. The apartment is smaller because the stairs down that lead down here are taken away from the upstairs apartment.
Do you want to give
Anyway.
our postal address is out, so who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
This is
No,
where I poop.
We're super lucky because we found this house with a basement that has no light, tiled floor, and the heating. So
Yeah.
we have a very nice workshop all year round.
Nice.
Congratulate ourselves to our house that we
The
did
thing
not.
is, I'm looking to buy, to sell this in maybe 1 or 2 years, and I'm already looking for like new houses. And my main thing when I look for new houses is like, can I build a shop out of this room? That's like the main thing that I look for.
Yeah, it was the same for us.
Either that, or at least a well lit and built carport, which is really great. I
Like
mean,
a
it's not great
garage.
to garage or something like that.
Because the carport is what we have outside.
Oh yeah, and like something where you can work
Garage.
inside.
Yeah.
It's something that's well lit and closed.
But for the resin, but especially for the resin, because we work a lot with resin and silicone, the temperature and the moisture in the air need to be very stable, because it will just go to waste in any other way. Yeah.
So we have the recommended 23 centigrade in this workshop at almost all times. In the summer it's a little higher, in winter it can be a little cooler, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty chill all year round.
The garage is not good in
Nice.
winter or summer, Grimsage says.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
No,
Lara, where do you work?
That's true. I have like the bottom one I have is like next to garages, so kind of the walls are like the same way insulated. And back when I was there and I was using Plastidip, it was like super cold, and I just grabbed Plastidip, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is not working.
Yeah, we used to have that in our old house, and it's like
And positive when it's cold, it gels, so
Yeah.
it really comes out in spurts.
Yeah, it's all over the place then.
It's all of the disgusting.
it's all,
Yes.
yeah, and it ruins your
Most
carpet if
definitely.
you're not careful.
So, Lara, where do you work from? You have a shop or?
Yes, my workshop is, we have 4 rooms, like all of them are the same size, like
Yeah.
this. And one of those rooms is my workshop.
Wow, even with the big costumes, that's enough. I mean, if it's high enough, then it should be perfect. I mean,
Yes.
it's a big room.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm storing one of my costumes at my parents'. The most of them are in our really, really small basement. It's very small. Like, just... Okay, I can show it. Just like this wide. And Vulgrim is standing in the other room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the good thing about prop making is you don't really accumulate that many parts produced to sell. So we have our own costumes here in storage and some memorabilia and a few example pieces, but mostly all of what we build
Goes out the door.
Goes out the door and is gonna get shipped at some point.
Yeah, and sometimes you actually have to, consciously look at what you're building before you pack it, because otherwise it feels like you're working all the time and nothing comes around.
Yeah.
That's a real problem.
When you build a cosplay is there to stay, either until you sell it, of course, or if you sell it.
You have some time to appreciate it.
Yeah, and sometimes it feels like I have a mountain of resin casts here that are all gonna go away tomorrow, and that's my whole workload for the week. And of course, it's reflected in the money we earn, but at the same time, there's really no tangible thing that you can hold on to.
There's always this pile of stuff going on, and some new gets done and some gets shipped out, but it's always this pile, and it looks like it never changes.
The only thing that stays are tons of silicone molds.
Yes.
Like a mountain of silicone molds.
We have to reorganize.
Yeah. It's I have the same with the smoke machines. It's just there's only 2 types.
Yeah.
So sometimes like the desk is filled with like scrap cables and vapes and motors and printed parts and that never changes. It's like
it just looks the same.
Yeah, exactly. But it's shipped out and they're all working units and they're gone. And then a new order comes in and I might have cleaned the entire desk and so like, my workshop is clean. And like an order comes for 2 units and 2 minutes.
Not anymore.
Like you see the SpongeBob screen pop up 2 minutes later.
Yeah, and that's like me soldering again. And that's how it goes. Or
cutting up cables.
Yeah,
it's sometimes it seems like the work doesn't end when it does.
Yeah.
But then it just restarts again. So
I just cleaned up yesterday, and
How long is that gonna stay?
Less than a day.
Yes.
I need to organize my workshop. It's like something nobody should have ever need to say, because that's constant mood.
It's a perpetual, like it's the in and out. It's like ebb and flute. What's the tide and ebb and tide?
Yeah.
So that's what I see it as, sort of.
And I've had this discussion with other cosplayers before. It's like, I wish I had a big shop like you, or I just need more space because now I don't have a lot of space and everything is full. But I always tell them, no matter how big your shop is, it might be 2 times as big or 10 times as big, it will still look the same because you will work with what you have. So if you just have the one desk, that's what you have, that will be trash. If you then, like, let's add a second desk because I have double the room, within a few weeks, you get used to it, and then both of those desks are full. And the same was with a room, and a room twice as big. You will fill it up with crap and more because you can do more and you have more, so you will use more. And that will just go on and on and on and on. So it really doesn't matter. Well, it matters because you can grow, but don't think like, it will be now clean, because no, it will not.
You just have more space to fill up before you... Chaos always expands to however big your workshop is.
Yes, I have one of those.
And also, what I often hear is, I could do that if I had the space and the tools. And I'm like, do you just think when tools and a room meet, then things happen? I mean,
that's how it works.
It's just, there's so much. I think people sometimes underestimate how much time you put into failures or into tests that don't end up on social media, that don't end up on a convention floor or in a shop. I've seriously, when I'm trying to think about how much stuff I had to start over again, I don't want to confront those numbers because that's like looking down the depression hole.
Yeah.
That's
All
not good.
that money.
Yes.
It's like corpses of unfinished projects, like littering the ground.
Or
It's
just,
like a battlefield of dead
just-
projects.
just stuff we tried out that just did not work. I think we started out 8 years ago or something, and
Did we? With
Yeah.
cosplay?
2012 we moved to Vienna, and that one of the first things we did was build this.
Well, but
Maybe it's 7 years.
7 years.
Okay, so we started out 7 years ago.
Building our own
And-
private project. Yeah.
Yes, with building our own private projects, and we probably in the meantime wasted months each, like literally months each, building trash, learning, but still building trash.
I mean, we still build trash, but now
Yeah.
people pay us for it.
True, and it doesn't look as bad.
Eh,
I would step
it,
on your
it
toe.
looks better than if they were to make it, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
If it's worth to them, then I'm happy, you know.
Exactly.
Because I don't know if you're. I mean, I think when most of cosplayers or artists in any case are the same, is that you start like you fall in love with a project, but then after a short while, like after finishing it and wearing it for a few times, I'm like, I've seen enough of this. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
And then I'm done too.
You
It's like
stare
I
at it
wear it
and
a few
like,
times and it's gone.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what you do when you create. I don't know where I got it from or where I read it, but like, what do you do when you finished your project? And the answer was stare at it until I hate it.
Yep.
That's basically what happens,
Yeah.
unless you hate it before you finish, which
That happens too.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I actually got into a conversation with Kamui Cosplay about throwing away old costumes, which we didn't agree upon. We didn't have the same opinion on that topic. Because I'm not a big fan of throwing stuff away. So even stuff that maybe wasn't used for one project, I try to reuse for something else. And if I have a costume part that I don't need anymore, I would rather give it to someone either for display. I mean, I understand that you don't want people to wear your costume specifically, but a lot of people learn from owning costume pieces. But just by seeing it, I learned so much by buying prop kits when I started out. Just small stuff, you know, just learning how to put together somebody else's work helped me figure out how to make stuff that other people can put together themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm not of the opinion that just throwing stuff away is the best course of action. I think that's just a personal belief of mine.
Yeah.
Let's see what the chat says. Let's see what my cat. Garage is not great in winter or summer, can confirm. Okay, Bloody Baroness says, so my problem with having a workshop is I don't want to be separated from my cats. Well, my cat can actually walk in the shop because it's just in the hallway, so sometimes she does. So it makes it difficult when you hear them yelling for you inside the door. Well, she scratches the door and she wants her good food and she'll bug
Noise
me.
canceling headphones.
Oh, the poor cat.
My heart couldn't take it. And hey Leafy Apple joined.
Hi.
And Grim Sage says sometimes you hate something enough that throwing it away is cathartic. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I totally agree with that.
Yes.
I just like sent my Sombra stuff 2 days ago to someone because I couldn't my heart couldn't take it to throw it away, so I just gave it away to
Yeah.
someone.
Like some people won't just wear cosplay. Some people will put it up as a display. Maybe, especially your Sombra is really good. Somebody might just put it up as a display piece in a bar or in their private home or something. Or maybe a local cosplay group, they want to have something that they can show around. Or, for example, I talked to the guy who does from Cast for Art, the Warbler person
That guy.
who stayed at our place and whose name I always forget.
Matthias.
Matthias, I think. Yes, Matthias. And he says he often buys off stuff, all the stuff from cosplayers that they don't need anymore because he likes to be able to display what is what Warble is capable of. So I think that there's a lot of use for old costumes.
Oh yeah.
Besides adding to the huge junk pile that already exists.
Well, some people just prefer to wear their cosplay maybe once or twice, and then they just sell it for just to get some money back for the materials. I know Angela did that with one of her costumes, and then she applied at Dutch Comic Con with I think the Samurai Pizza Cat or Sylvanas, but she sold her Shivana costume. It was, I think she sold it to someone, and apparently they both applied to enter the craftsmanship contest. Angela got refused and she got in with a bought costume. I know, it's like, what? She didn't even and this is DCC in a nutshell. They would check shit, and then I think she even complains of she didn't make I don't remember the whole end result. I don't think she still entered, because I think she intervenes why are you letting her enter and not me? She literally bought my work and you're letting her in. You did zero background check, none. So
there's these conventions that really don't. You clearly can see if they're run by people who are into that topic or who just want to make I'm not saying that not making money is making money is a bad thing. I'm just saying the contest should be run by somebody who has some experience and some know-how on the topic, they should hire people that know about that stuff.
But for a lot of conventions, the cosplay contest is just another thing to fill up the program, just like a live drawing of something or a interview with one of their guest stars from Game of Thrones or whatever. It's just another filling of program, and every filling will cost money because you have to have an artist and all that stuff. So the cheaper they can fill it, some will be okay, let's just have some judges and just go on stage and yay, we have a contest. Some people just really don't care. So you run the risk of that. Kind of leads me into the next one that we were talking about this afternoon on Facebook that I kind of wanted to save for the podcast.
Oh yeah.
What you said. I don't know if you want to name cons, but that
we don't have to. We can stay advertiser friendly.
we can stay neutral, but a lot of
it applies
conventions. It applies to a lot of conventions and events in general that they don't pay their guests, that they either the old exposure stuff, So we've talked about this when we were still not having guests, so I don't want to tread on it. We can tread on it again, but I kind of want to ask the question to you guys is have you guys ever ran into such things where a convention was oh my god, such a long fan, and could you please guest at our convention, and not get any money?
Oh yeah.
So can I take this one, or you want to take this one?
Go ahead.
Nobody comes up to us and tells us that they're a fan of ours. that's the first. That would be a first. No, but we actually had a history with a few conventions here in Austria, especially specifically, and
I knew it because Grimsage literally did that at DragonCon.
What?
Walk up to you and say, "I'm such a fan of yours."
That's right. Okay, I'm sorry.
I want to talk about DragonCon later too. So
nobody wants to hire us.
Sabina, we're friends. That's not the same.
Shut the. Okay.
I show you domestic abuse.
Oh shit! Damn.
No, that's kind of an insider.
So I lost my train of thought. Conventions,
yes.
Things that happen to people, words.
That people come up and want us to guess.
No. That's not it. I really had a sentence thought out and then. Fucking ADHD.
You said nobody comes up to us as saying we're a fan.
Oh yeah. And so we had a few conventions here in Austria and in Germany where at first have a booth and just show up and just be happy to be part of the convention and just be able to show our stuff. We wouldn't sell anything, just to be part of the convention for us was worth it. So and as the years went by, people sort of assumed that was the status quo, and that it would stay the same. But of course, sure enough, we came to the point where we said we can't afford going to a convention every second weekend and not get anything back for that.
It costs money to go there.
And as much as we love being there and interacting with the attendees and with the people and the guests and having fun and just for some reason we love doing that, even though we're basically sociophobic shut-ins.
Yes.
So that's I think that's our sort of what to say. That's the place where we get to be extroverted and interact with people and have fun and give people who are interested in the topic like a taste of what we do, and then maybe they will start doing their own stuff. And we've seen that over the years that people actually come up and say, "Oh, you guys, seeing your stuff made me want to try it myself, and here's my first piece." And I'm like, "Holy shit, this is amazing! This is insane!" And it's just lovely to see sort of that, to get that ball rolling and to be out there and meet people. So of course, when we started asking for money, a lot of people would just straight up tell us no. So no, we can't afford you, which is totally fine. No problem whatsoever. Not everybody wants to hire some cosplayers or prop makers for their booth. The problem was that there's very large conventions who just basically decided to sort of...
And they are making money.
They're making a lot of money.
Because if it's a small community convention and they are not making money, then it's maybe something different. But strangely, those conventions know that it's freaking expensive to go somewhere, and they like at least get us a room or something. Yeah, so we don't have crazy expenses. But
yeah, that's the very least.
Actually, really make money with that.
Yeah,
they are not paying.
And the thing is, it's not like I'm going up to somebody and say, "Hire me and pay me," and then act like surprised Pikachu face when they don't want it. Like, but it's, what? You know, surprised Pikachu face.
Of course.
Of course, I just love that term. Fuck you, Jonesy. You made me do this. But it's actually like you work with a convention over a couple of years, and they say, "Yeah, next year we'll be able to get you something, help you out somehow," and it becomes next year, and we just at certain points just said, "Okay, we won't be taken advantage of that way." And most conventions took it really well. A few thought it would be wise to start shit talking us behind our backs, and it's one in particular here in Austria, where we just.
You don't see surprised Pikachu?
I see it.
She hasn't seen it. Guys, can somebody check, please?
No, wait. I don't see it. Do it again.
Please.
I put things I can do with my new
put it on Matt's face.
Yes.
Wait, I'll stand still.
Oh shit! No, wait, I clicked it away, man. Wait. God damn it! Come here. Doesn't want to. No, it doesn't want to go. Ah, here we go. Like, yay! Good enough.
There it
is.
It's me. Wait, that's a different character.
But it's also
no, but let's not go into the drama as much as I think it's sad to see that conventions would rather spend a lot of money on. No, wait, that sounds so bitchy. Let me try that again. I wish it would be. Yes, but I wish it was just the norm to accept that people's work isn't for free,
And that's a lot of times, with artists, it's like, but you like doing this. You love doing this. But it costs you money.
Yeah, also, it's not like with our appearance fee, we don't even make money. We just cover whatever we lose by going there, because, we basically lose at least 3 days. We could work, so we lose that. And then going there, being there, going to restaurants, etc., it costs money. Even if they pay for gas and for accommodation, it still costs money.
And maybe for people who don't know, it's not just that we go to conventions, set up a booth, and just sit there all day and sign a few.
Set up a
Prints.
table with a few prints.
We bring a ton of props, we bring tools, and we do in our attendance fee included are 2 workshops. So one each day. The event, the organizers can choose from a range of workshops that we do. The workshops take up from 1.5 to 2 hours and are for 10 to 15 people. And some of them are really workshops where we work together. Others are demonstrations, so demos. So it's not like we're coming in there like entitled cunts and saying, where's my special treatment? It's like we are offering a service, and you can either say you want to hire us or you don't want to hire us. Both of which is fine, but don't be a bitch about it. That's all. That's basically it.
It's absolutely fair. So we've had conventions who said, hey, we would love to have you there, but we don't have that much money and we want to spend it on something else. That's totally fine. I mean, nobody's salty about that. We're only salty if they're like, those Brazen and Bold, they think they can ask for money. So
look at them. Like, we don't have 5 million. Shit. It's like I'm not there because we are we're cost famous. We're there because we want to do something. We want to work there. We want to like be part of the program, be part of the event. But
yeah, that's how we see ourselves as part of the program of the con. So people don't pay an entrance fee to go shopping, basically.
So people don't pay extra for the workshops, for example. When the convention has to cover the workshop fee, we don't charge any extra money.
That's kind of my go-to rule with events. Like because
I don't want to be there at the door and then asking for like $10 a pop.
No, exactly.
Like, oh.
No.
Like when we went to Egypt, our base rule was like, that's the general rule I have. I'm fine with working for an event for free, but your event shouldn't cost me money. So you arrange my travel, you arrange my stay if it's for several days, maybe some compensation. I even, like, that's what I did for Egypt. I brought 2 smokers. I dumped it into like their contest as a way back. And in the end, it didn't cost me anything. I was an experience, or we were an experience richer, but it didn't cost us any money.
Yeah.
So, and we stayed for a few more days, and that was like the trade-off.
Yeah. We did the same in Belgrade last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a small community con in a youth center. We said, yeah, fine, we come. They don't have a lot of money, no problem. But they arranged for an Airbnb basically around the corner, which was super nice, even with air conditioning, which is great.
Because Belgrade is very warm.
It's warm. And it was in July. Then they got us drinks at the convention. They basically arranged for everything. One of them cooked for us one evening, and
they took us out to eat, and
so
just lovely people. So great time in Serbia last year. Really cute. Nice. But not to talk about the negative. Since starting out asking for money, first before I get to my point, I want to ask Lara, how do you handle that sort of stuff?
First, I have a story. Because I had an invitation for a convention. I think it was in 2018 or 17. No, 18. Like for 2 weeks, it was like, yeah, we want to have you as a guest, and we can pay for this and that. And I told them beforehand, yeah, but you need to pay for 2 people because I don't travel alone. Yeah,
it's too much stuff.
Yeah, and I don't like to fly alone, so. Especially not in another country. So, and then they were like, yeah, but we can only pay half for your second person. So you need to book the flight yourself, and you get no money for attendance. And then they were like, yeah, but can you do 2 workshops?
Not pay. If they just had asked for the second workshop and.
Yeah, I won't name what convention, but it was a little bit further down, I'll say. They asked me if I could come. They, I think they would pay for the flight. I did ask I did ask for money at first, because the event was 5 days. 5 days. And
I don't do 5 days events anymore.
they were
No.
long days with
You did-
workshops and judging. And I was even fine. I was even
exhausting.
I was even fine with taking no pay. My only condition was, can I bring Angela? Because I also don't want to travel alone. I just want to have the two of us. Then I'll be fine. That's the trade-off. I'll work
But
for you
it's
for
kind of
5
a
days.
vacation, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll bring her along. Like, you have to pay for my room anyway. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
the second room, that price difference is negligible. And the plane ticket, that's the only thing. It was like, no, hard no. I was like, okay, so what if I bring some smoke machines? I'll add it to the contest. And that's like X amount of money more that I'll bring to the table. And in that way, you'll be compensated. And then, like, my girlfriend can come. No. It's like, so you want me to come to your event alone, work 5 days for free? And their answer was, let me get back to you. It's like, yeah, please do. And then 2 weeks later, I get a message like, yeah, no, I'm afraid we can't continue and blah, blah. I was like, no shit.
Like, it's always the same. I understand it. On one part, I really understand it. It's hard to event. It's hard to finance an event. But I see, like, and that's not just me saying that because it's all like, we don't earn our living going to conventions. I think neither of us, like, no one earns their living by just going to conventions. We all do stuff, and we all work for our money. So conventions should be like a thing that we like to do and go to have fun at as well, and
not cost us money.
And I can just stay at home, you know.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I have a workshop. I have a comfy. I have my Jojo.
Or
I don't really need to.
I could even go there and do whatever the fuck I want all day. You know,
Like,
I don't have to work there.
But there's a difference between how people treat their appearance at conventions, because that's what I've noticed, at least. There's a huge divide in what people interpret as working at a convention. Because I've met people who come, like, start on Friday, they build the table, they set up everything, and I'm not talking like vendors and stuff, just cosplayers, prop makers, people who fan groups, people who contribute to the convention in other ways. And they're the first to be there, the last to go, and they're there all day. Whenever somebody comes up and has questions, they're there and they're motivated, and they're always kind of like represented at their table or at their booth. And then some people show up and just fuck off for 5 hours because they have a photo shoot. And as long as you put those two groups into one bucket and say that is how people attend conventions as guests or as booth operators, then there's a problem, I think, because that's just not what we do.
Yeah, and something else that I've noticed since we started to actually, you know, not go unless we get money, is that when you ask for money and ask for compensation, you're treated differently.
Yeah.
Unless it's a shitty con that's like, I don't know, how dare they ask for money, but that's something else. But usually, if they pay for it, they appreciate it more
because they know what it is worth for them, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think they get lost in the idea that, like, I'll invite you and you'll be you and blah blah blah. You bring your costumes and then you ask, like, yeah, but we want money. And even if they agree, then they think that money should get them more than they're already getting. It's like, oh, now I'm paying, so now I want more. No, you're already getting us and our costumes. That's what you're paying for. You're not giving me money, and I should bring you more than I'm already bringing because the costumes are already this much. My time is worth this much. The costumes will get damaged probably. Like when I look at my Shrike Anna, my gun was broken in like 4 pieces and my visor of my helmet was broken. Like, who's going to pay for that? I mean, nobody. So they somehow they think they already have you, and then like, oh, you want money? Oh, okay, here's $100 or $200, but now I want you to do 5 workshops. It's like, no. that fee is so that you get this already, not this and more. It's like it's that crooked thinking.
We need to be careful. At least I feel I need to be careful when talking about this, because I really don't want to seem like an entitled cunt just thinking that
you
only
won't. The
but
thing
it's
is, this is just
everybody
reality.
understands what we're talking about. It's just because I've also been kind of drilled that way, because the response to asking for recompensation is often like pure dumbfoundedness. Like, the fuck are you saying?
But
the
that's
fuck
the
do you
thing.
think?
But
Who the
that's
fuck do you
thing
think
you have to break through, because
And-
that's the way these events handle it. Is like they'll ask me, and it's like, hey, can you do this for free? I'll say no. Then it's like, okay, well, I'll fuck off to the next one. They go to Lara. It's like, hey, can you do this event? She says no, and they'll go on and on and on till they'll go down the list, and somehow somebody like
they end up with us?
But then some random cosplayer were like, oh, this event wants me and me alone and for judging. And again, this is just an event that tries to fill in another time slot of their event. They don't give a crap about you. You don't ask any money, but everybody has to kind of do this thing of asking for compensation and not be all like millennial or Gen X or Z or whatever it's called, like, oh, let's not talk about money because that's scared. No, your time is worth something. Get paid.
But on the other hand, I mean, if you just started out and it's your first time, then
you don't know.
Shouldn't you be already suspicious that you're being invited as a cosplayer?
I mean, if you're just starting out and you don't have experience with appearance at cons and so, I also get that a con doesn't want to pay because they don't know what they're getting. So it depends, I guess. But I noticed that it got easier to ask for money now that we have a business. Yeah. So we are a super official business, and people know that super official businesses actually need to make money. So it is harder, I think, for people who don't do it as their job, because it's like, but it's your hobby. I will just enabling your hobby. Yeah, sure, but it's
I'm
still
enabling
work.
my hobby from home. That's fine.
Exactly. I can do that from home.
But that's something that cons often don't get, because you're also going to a con for fun, right? Yes, but then I pay for my ticket.
But not yours.
No, maybe even yours. But then I pay for my ticket. I do whatever the fuck I want all day. I can sit in one corner, cry, and eat popcorn all day. Nobody cares. I can't do that.
Once you like, I don't know if it's like, willing. ST60 is now following. I'm probably saying that wrong, but thank you for the follow.
Hey, thank you for following.
The thing though is with this is how I think about it. It's like, if I'm like, and I think because I make money also from cosplay, and so do you, and so do you, Lara. Is if an event comes to me and they're like, and I'm fine with working for free as long as I do get a fair compensation, like getting there, traveling there, and maybe an extra day or two before or after the convention so I can kind of see the city. That's also enough for me. But if they say like, no, we don't have anything, we can't compensate you, you cannot bring your girlfriend or whatever, then I have the simple rule of I can make more money at home with my business than I can make at your event.
Or hold that thought. Or you could actually, have some free time. Like, I know it's a crazy concept, guys. Because sometimes there's even the possibility of not working each day of the week.
What?
It's insane. I know it's a completely new concept. I just came up with it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that.
I just put the surprise Pikachu on your face again after that expression.
Yeah, I mean, and I have to say, to not just bitch about shit, but in our local convention landscape, one would say, there's a few big players and then there's smaller conventions. And we've had amazing relations with the small conventions. Ever since we started asking for money, I was pretty much sure that the smaller conventions wouldn't invite us anymore. But it turns out that they really put a lot of emphasis on workshops and on how you say, they want their customers, the guests, to interact with the convention. So not just walk through the aisles, buy a few knickknacks, and then just leave. And they just, ever since we started asking for money, they were just like, okay, you need a hotel room as well? And I'm like, yes, please. And then like, awesome. Will you do the workshops? And I'm like, yes. Do you have a new workshop that you want to show? I'm like, also yes. Like, perfect. We'll see each other in March. I'm like, fuck yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
and then you work with conventions who have like so much money behind them. Like they invite movie stars. I don't want to bitch about that too much, but those movie stars.
If you ever want to bitch, this is the place to do it.
No, I'm saying I totally understand why you invite movie stars to conventions. But if you look at the lineup, I think you could save some money there, because I remember conventions where poor Lou Ferrigno would sit alone at his booth with other like stars around him, and the only people who come wanted to see Lou Ferrigno, and nobody else was like he was an extra in season 14 of Star Wars Next Generation somehow. And I'm asking, how much did you pay for him? Oh, like 15,000 plus flight and hotel. I'm like, what does he do? It's like he has nothing to say. It's not like it's. It's fine. I don't get the whole star thing.
It keeps happening, but that's the thing though with conventions. I think it's just there's something for everyone. Cosplayers, crafters, artist alley, stars from series, movies. I'm totally not into anime, and this one over here is, so you know.
Only one. I don't watch anime. I only watch one anime. One.
Which one?
Naruto.
Naruto, of course. I mean, yeah, that's obvious. I walked right into that one.
Should I put up surprise Pikachu face again?
But those Naruto costumes are like they are beautiful. I have to say they're some of the best I've seen so far, because even like ever since I started being interested in cosplay, I've seen so many Naruto costumes who are just, you know what I mean. But those are really, really good. I was also very interested in the live action Naruto show that they did in Japan, and those costumes are also absolutely amazing. And yeah, so really, really cool. Really like it.
Let's see. Some chat. Lol, some people are such hypocrites. That was about the exposure thing.
Yeah, Jojo is making popcorn, by the way. I'm sorry.
He's quoting you to not just bitch about shit. I'll remember the quotes from Madness Creation. And then Bloody Baronesses, and then there are conventions which only have 2 workshops for 2 con days, and they don't want your workshop because you asked for 2 single-day tickets instead of only 1 single-day ticket. Like,
oh yeah, I heard about that. We got us some popcorn. I hope you don't mind.
No, you don't have a mic in front of your face, so you don't hear it like.
Popcorn ASMR.
So nice. Oh, our viewer count dropped to 0.
Bye.
No. I'm kidding.
Like, if you put it in perspective, an Instagram influencer beauty with like 15,000 followers, for example, can charge 100 euros for a post. And like, we post usually stories and comments and posts about the specific event. So, and some of us don't get paid. So, yeah.
So was it another cosplayer that got paid, or was it just some influencer?
No, just like a normal beauty influencer with like 10,000 followers. Most of them get paid for ad posting.
Wow. So like you're saying that we're selling us short, each of us.
Yes.
Because we're dumb artists.
Yes.
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 So yeah, that's a shit. Yeah, I think the whole I think it is getting better. I mean, if I think I'm the shortest one cosplaying of this group. I started in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm already seeing the change. That it is getting better. It is getting more accepted. Like in the peak Marvel height of like movies, they asked me to go to a screening with my Iron Man suit, and they literally paid me nothing. I didn't go, but they were like, "Yeah, we want you to be at the entrance and I was all the way up in the north of the Netherlands, and I'm like down south. So on a weekday, I had to travel, I think, 1.5 hours. It was on a weekday, so I had to work the next day, so I would have to be off the next day. So it would cost me a holiday. The suit would get damaged. And I was like, okay, is there any compensation here? It's like, that I like, because I have to take a day off the next day. My suit will get damaged. I have to go to there, so it'll cost gas money and maybe some parking. So can you like figure it out? And he said like, oh, I'm just a clerk, and I got handed down this task from my boss, but I'll ask. And the only thing that he could arrange was free parking.
I'm joking on the popcorn.
I hope you laughed at it.
I laughed at him. I said, like, my dude, like, are you like read again what you just said? I was like, yeah, I understand. So yeah, it is ridiculous. So let me go back to my boss. And then there's this thing in the Netherlands. It's called Nationale Bioscoopbon, and it's like this ticket, and you can turn it into any movie theater for any movie you want. And it's like you can get one of those. But that's like what, $10 for one like a standard movie ticket. So I was like, okay, let me get this straight, because then he offered that like national movie ticket that I could. And the popcorn fell.
No, just my schedule.
Oh.
So I said to them, it's like, okay, let me get this straight. You're offering me a movie ticket. Am I to understand that I cannot even see the movie that I'm promoting for your theater? I was like, yeah, no, because we sold out.
That's outrageous.
I was like, you can get someone else.
Oh boy, you can go shove that offer up somebody else.
I was like, yeah, that's not it.
Crack.
But that was early. That was early. That was not even in my Iron Man. That was when I had my War Machine done. That was even before that. And
wow.
like now, I haven't done any events lately, and I'm not like actively promoting to go there anyways. But the last one was like Egypt, and they were really fair actually. They gave us daily spending at the hotel that we were at, and it was actually kind of a crazy amount. I don't think we ever maxed out our limit.
Wow, that's awesome.
And we went nuts. We just like, beer and food and just put it all on the bill, and it was all fine. So it is getting better. And
that's
I
really
think,
cool.
and that was for a convention in Egypt. I mean,
How did you get in contact with those people? That sounds amazing.
That's through her, because she already was in Egypt for the Maker Fair, made some links, and that led to us going there together for. It was called Insomnia, and that is already an event.
That's Insomnia. I didn't know that was in Egypt.
Yeah, that was the first one they did. They had another Insomnia already, and they're planning another one even. But it was the first one was through, I think, the Ministry of Youth and Education, or the ministry got involved because they wanted to promote some like gaming and e-culture and kind of those sort of things. And Insomnia is just a gaming event. It was the biggest event at that point that I think all of Egypt or all of Cairo ever had. So that was nice.
That sounds awesome.
So if even like Egypt can do it, why can't like our great EU nation full of cons not spare a few measly bucks in their like big ass budget when they can like get big movie stars. It's like, yeah, we'll pay your exorbitant amount of money. And then there's a cosplayer. I was like, can I have some food? No. How dare you?
But at the same time, Germany is exporting some of the most expensive cosplay guests in cosplay history. I think so, right?
Really?
Like, because Austria, I mean, I know it because I know a few of them personally and I like them. And I totally think that they deserve that amount of money. So, I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't. It's hard for me. I have ADHD very badly, and it's sometimes hard to keep a sentence in my mind. So I'm just trying to. You can say what you want. I forgot it. I really forgot.
And you know them.
Oh yeah, I know a few of them. And so what I'm saying, not it does not speak about those cosplayers asking too much money, because I think they're totally worth it if somebody wants to buy them or pay them. It's just that small conventions now in Austria specifically are hiring somebody like Mall Cosplay, who's not cheap, but not paying other people who are like
Just expenses.
But if you only had the person at the convention that is paid, then Ben would sit in an empty fucking room. Is that a convention? I don't think so. Like, as cool as Mall Cosplay is, that's not a convention. That's a fan meetup basically. And
that's also because conventions only see numbers. So
sure.
Yeah.
It is a numbers game, and I get it. At the very core, it's still a business, but you shouldn't alienate a section of that business, because you'll have your mall cosplay then, but you could have like the next mall cosplay that hasn't blown up yet. And he got rejected hard, and then like maybe a year after that, or 2 or 3 years later, he's blown up or she's blown up. It's like, hey, we want you again. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. You treated me badly. And they make a shit post about like, yeah, hey, don't go into business with these guys. You don't know, so you never should. It's like, don't burn your bridges. Like,
it's like drain.
No.
It's literally draining the pool and just leaving like a little bowl with a goldfish in there, because nobody else can exist in that sort of environment. That's I think almost like, because Ben, like in our circles, is almost like a celebrity point. So it's really hard to measure him.
And he has a tremendous pool.
As an immense pool, so people only show up to meet him sometimes, which I totally understand.
I get when he's booked. I totally get it, because he actually brings in, because he is known in the region, so he brings in people. And it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's this other thing that I kind of wanted to.
Sure.
I've brought it up before, but I kind of want to always have like the guests input. Like any cosplayer has social media. But what I see more and more in the years that have gone by is people put a lot of pressure on themselves on their social media. They think if they don't have a big following, their cosplay is shit. And it's like, oh, I don't mean anything because I don't have thousands of followers. I don't give a shit about my social media like I used to, but now I'm like, I see it more as a pain. Because it's like I'll spend time on it, but it doesn't like hold a grip on my life as I see some others in my Facebook timeline. I sometimes see like, oh yeah, and I didn't do anything, so I can't post anything, or my reach is low and I can't, and I'm nothing. I feel like shit. What's your take on this? Do you see others in your environment that are negatively influenced by social media? Because I do see it a lot with others.
Yeah, me too. And honestly, if you don't have a large following on social media, it mainly means that people don't know you. It doesn't say much about your cosplay, about your quality of your work. I mean, a certain minimal quality is necessary. I also know people where I know why they don't have, even though they've been around some time, because what they post just doesn't interest people, and I get why, because I don't follow them myself. But
Sorry, I'm trying to think what you mean, but
I mean, there are people who don't have quality of work and quality of posting that other people tend to like to see. You know what I mean? But other than this,
That they cosplay the hip thing because it will get like
or
get
it's
them
just
followers.
their cosplays are for fun. It's fine. I mean, it's not like everybody has to do super like laborious, intricate stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But otherwise, not having a big following does not mean your cosplay is shit. You know, it just means that people don't know you because either you don't post a lot, or you're pretty new to it, or
you don't use hashtags.
You try to interact with people that are not into what you do, or you switch a lot. So if you switch a lot, then people who previously followed you for your stuff, and then you switch to another content, and then they unfollow because why would they?
But sometimes a change can be good as well.
Yeah, but you have to be careful about it. So, but I noticed that some people really take it hard, and on one hand I understand. On the other hand, unless you're making money with it, it really doesn't matter.
No,
you know,
this is especially for young people are hit by this harder. I think
get the word out about our products. So for us, it matters. For any company, it matters. Mm-hmm. But if you really are only doing it for fun, it doesn't matter. For you, the social media is. The social media is. It's very useful as a kind of a log of what you are doing, and it's very useful to get in contact with others who are doing the same. And sometimes you only have you just bad luck. That's also there.
I think people get lost in it. You know, it's like, oh, I made something. Now I have to post this, and this has to do well. Otherwise, they measure their quality of cosplay to the level of their social media, and that I think it affects young people the most. It's like maybe just because I'm like an old fart now, so I'm like, yeah, social media, I don't care. So, but when I see it on like my personal timeline on like Facebook, I see people that go to like college, and they're in school, and they're doing this and this and this, and they're doing all these amazing things. How they find the time, I don't even know. And then they're totally shit talking down upon themselves, and it's like, it's only you're like. You're not even making money off of it. You should do this for fun. You started cosplay for fun, and now you're losing interest in the hobby because it doesn't do well on social media. Yeah. So that's like.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not over that. I was really impacted because like even being to the point of being jealous, and I still sometimes am jealous when I look at profiles and I see hundreds thousands of subscribers and whatever, and I'm like, I put so much work in it, but the point is that what I'm trying to say is there's not just bad in it. So I think it's feeling bad about it is not good. Of course, that's a given. That we use it for our business as well to promote our stuff. That is what I do think is good about social media and interacting with people that way and seeing the reaction to the posts that you make is learning what people like to see and what they don't like to see. And it's not being like, oh, everything I do is shit, but to be able to differentiate, what do my followers want to see? Are they there for the work in progress pictures? Do they just want finished cosplay pictures? Are they super into selfies? I know a lot of cosplayers who basically only post selfies and they're doing great. And to be able to define what I want to do versus what I think other people want to see, and to find a balance between that is a good way, I think, to evolve and to learn new stuff. So I think a lot of my frustration with social media has actually gotten me to change stuff and to learn new stuff. So I was never I was never at that point where I was like, so I'm happy with what I learned. Now I can just do the same thing over and over again, because I always do stuff and I always see new and amazing artists and people and cosplays and costumes, and I'm always in in my worst on my worst days, I feel kind of shit that I'm not that good. On my better days, I see that as a challenge and a way to improve on what I do. Because working in a vacuum for me would be kind of terrible. I think I've gotten seeing other people's work, not just my own. I don't care about the follower numbers at all. Like, I want to reach 10,000 followers, because now I can post links in my stories. That's it. That's literally what I wanted. After that, I don't give a shit. I don't do giveaways for that reason. I don't try to garner the best hashtags. And I know people who spend so much time and energy on thinking about that stuff, and I don't want to do that. It's fine for them if they want it. I just don't. I wanted my 10,000 likes. I got them. Now, if they get more, it's fine. I hope they don't get less, because then I can't post links in my stories anymore. But everything else is kind of.
I just thought of a second thing that is good about social media, although it doesn't really connect to the follow account. But having a social media account and posting on it also adds some accountability for finishing projects and for actually putting some thought into it and explaining it and showing the progress. Because I don't think without our accounts, I don't think we or at least me, I would have made so much. I would have trashed way more projects, because I mean, if I'm not gonna show anybody, who cares?
I see what you say. Yeah. So
it can be used as a positive thing to motivate yourself, but it shouldn't impact it that much that it turns around that. I think a lot of people, and including myself, we start out like that, as like, it's a good way to motivate, but then it kind of, if you let it, it will change you to like, I have to now, because some people are more sensitive to the social media thing, the dopamine thing, that like, I got interaction and the clicks. Some people can just brush it aside, no problem, but there are those among us that have a higher sensitivity for that need to be for the need to be like, and those that group can be like, get lost in that, like, why doesn't this have interactions, when it has nothing to do with the people that would follow it, nothing to do with the work, but just how the platform is built. It will like have, maybe it shadow ban some hashtags that you're using, so it's not spreading, or you're not using your analytics to post at the best time, or it can be so many reasons, but they turn it on themselves. So it must be me that is shit, and that's when the negative.
Well, the reality is that there is how many billion people on this goddamn planet?
7
billion.
Yeah, 7 to 9 million people on this planet, and not everybody is gonna have a 100K Instagram account. Not a lot of like.
And also, maybe it's just bad luck, because at the same time, somebody else who is doing similar things than you, or just posting stuff that is shown to similar people than you, there were several who posted at the same time. So that's just bad luck.
Sorry, your baby Yoda didn't blow up between 10 million other baby Yoda.
But the thing is, to put it in perspective, if anybody is watching now on like YouTube, like 6 months from now, I don't know, and you're like in this whole social media, my Instagram following is only 50 or 100 or whatever. I know, because I was at your profile on Instagram and your profile, Lara, today also on Instagram. It's like, you guys have like 11K followers on Instagram, something like that. I have 21.7, and you, Lara. No. I'm not saying it for that. Just no. But Lara has over 40K.
Yeah.
It's like, is there any difference in what we still do, love, or I'm not even talking about the money, because it's not always about the money. Everybody still uses their social media for like posting their progress. The only thing is, just like you said, at 10K you unlock that web link, but I don't hold you or you guys in any higher or lesser standards due to that number on there.
I mean, you could,
But it doesn't matter.
because Lara is pretty cool.
No.
No, but
But I kind of want to hear her thing on too.
I'm so sorry.
She's been a little bit quiet. So maybe, are you
Yeah.
tired? Are you like a little bit like?
Yes, I'm also a little bit tired. I was standing the whole day. You can kind of see the mask outline here.
Yeah.
Yeah, very beautiful.
But I know you're like also big on like TikTok. How much do you have on TikTok?
Yes,
So
140,000.
Yeah, see.
And I post bullshit. And,
the fuck.
But do you see the same thing on TikTok, that people are like, oh, you know, but my TikTok is weird?
It's not that bad on TikTok, to be honest, because on TikTok you collect dead reach. You can gain a lot of followers, but you still have like 1,000 views on videos, which is very, very low.
Okay.
You can have 200 followers and a viral video, and TikTok is not a good place to measure your impact or anything. For Instagram, like nothing changed for me. Like I hit that 10K, I think, in 2017 with my first angel. Yeah. And after that, I just still enjoyed doing the things I did before. Sometimes I get jealous when I look at other accounts that are bigger, double the size, or 10 times the size. But then I like remember, yeah, I'm doing this for myself. Why am I jealous? So, yeah.
I think it's natural that thought is first like, oh, look at this person. But then you have to kind of talk to yourself, and like, my work and my way of working has not changed since I started my Instagram. I'm still doing it for me because I like the hobby and to learn and figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm humbled by the fact that a lot of people want to see my work, and all of you who are now watching, it's nice to see like your Twitch grow. And what I've seen now also is like, it's nice to see when now that we're inviting guests, you get some crossover with follows, that people are like, oh, I didn't know about this podcast, and it's nice, and you get more followers and more interactions. That's all nice. But that's never like the end game to do it. We didn't start this podcast to have a big Twitch following. No, we just wanted to get together because there's not a lot of like European-based podcasts, and we wanted to kind of like, hey, let's do this and see where it leads. And now with like guests, and just, we also don't want to like invite all the usual guests, so we want to just like sometimes have the audience have like, hey, maybe you should invite those. And that's the only reason we did it, kind of just to see where it led, and not so much like for like oh, let's make money, or let's get famous doing this, or get something out of it. I mean, the thing is, they're on my own YouTube channel, but we don't monetize them, so it's not even for like, oh, if we keep doing this for a year, we'll get like that sweet YouTube money. It's like, no, because I want to curse, and I want to talk about controversial stuff because I want to do it for
You don't want to say frick instead of fuck.
Exactly.
You don't want to read.
I follow one YouTuber who always censors every curse with bababooey. And I think it's so fucking funny. It's so much more funny than it would if saying the curse word.
No,
bababooey.
But it's not only for like.
Look what they just posted in your chat.
Want to become famous? Buy followers, find your views, and follow it.
The sharks, they smell blood in the water.
Yes, they do.
But it was fake blood. Oh
They
no!
smell the salt. They smell the salt.
Oh yeah. they see. Hey, you want to be famous? These guys are famous.
By sweet followers.
God.
Become famous?
yeah.
No, who wants to
I want
become
to be famous.
No, I like, I like my calm place I like.
I want to be famous for being calm and a recluse.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
I take the money,
see if
but
we
not
let's see if we have some stories here, because I have one of these stories.
Yeah.
Are there any? And this goes for you, Lara. Have you ever had?
Yeah.
What's the weirdest place you got recognized? If that ever happened. I think I have you beat both of you.
Okay. Who wants to go first? I think Lara should go first.
I only get recognized at cons. I never got recognized outside of cons because no one. I don't know why. I like post stories with my ugly ass face and my double chin and no makeup, but everyone's like, "Oh, I didn't know how you look without cosplay." And what the fuck? At Konichi in 2018, I had no cosplay on, and that was like the only time someone came up to me like, "Oh my god, you're Lara, you're so amazing." Like,
Aw.
I don't have a costume on. I didn't shower for 2 days because I'm just here. I just got there to like visit someone, and I didn't even plan to like cosplay or anything. And yeah, that was a little bit weird. But I have one from Daniel because he was at a party here in Oberhausen, like not like a small party, but a bigger party. And a girl came up to him and was like, "Oh my god, I know you from Instagram."
Aww.
He told me later. Yeah. I thought it was funny. He thought it was really, really weird and cringe, but I think it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, and we're also gonna tell the DragonCon story.
I have actually.
Yeah.
Before you tell your story, I just got a whisper on my Twitch channel thing, like the internal by I'm So Handsome 123 is a new whisper message like, want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on followinbot.com. It's like I'm not kidding. I'm putting it in like the screen right now. It's like this is a whisper. It's like the same. This is an actual freaking bot. It's like they do smell it.
That's
They do
amazing.
smell
They heard the
Nice.
and they have like some weird, I don't know, algorithm.
It's the keywords, but tell your story. Tell your story.
That's funny. So one of our yeah.
So actually, it happened a few times, which is weird because we're literally.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, so the first one, which was I think the weirdest, is we got recognized in one of our fabric stores, and one girl came up like, "Oh, you're Brazen Bold. Can I ask you something about which fabric would you recommend?" I was like,
how would you do?
"How would you do this?" And so asking for advice, and I was like, we were like standing in the middle there,
Like
there
just
to buy
buying fabric.
Like so, okay, so we talked. They were super nice, and we talked for
Half an hour.
half an hour,
20 minutes.
like 20 minutes about different kinds of fabric and a pattern and what to, because I already used the pattern, what she should look out for and so on. So a few tips. It was super funny. And then she came up at the next con like, "Look, this is my outfit."
That was really, really
and
nice.
it was really nice. Really, really nice.
Then you see like the end result. That's
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 the best part.
the best part.
Yeah.
I got recognized at a bar. So we were with a few friends. We were drinking at a bar, and I walked by a table of like students, and a guy looks at me and like, "Are you Brazen and Bold?" And I'm like, "The fuck did you just say to me?"
Okay, yours is getting close to mine then, actually, because my
It was
story.
so weird. He was so nice. He was really, really
And
nice.
the DragonCon story was funny.
Because may I?
You tell the DragonCon.
Okay, last one, and then I'm stopping. Like last year, we went to DragonCon, and we already had started our live streaming thingy. So we hadn't done it long, but we had a few viewers from, which is pretty cool. And we were walking with a group, so we were staying with friends in their room, and they had a big group, so we were walking around, and only 2 of them knew us before. So we were walking together, and they're like, so what do you guys do? Oh, we sell props, we build costumes, like no big deal. And like 10 minutes from each other, like no.
Not even. Once when we walked out of the Marriott lobby, and once when we went into the mall. So it was like 3 minutes apart or something.
No spaceship and our friend Grimsage met us, and back then we didn't know him that well, but now we're friends. But they're like, hey, you're Brazen Bold, and it's not because of them recognizing it, because at Dragon Con there's only nerds. It was just the people we were with started looking at us like that, like.
I mean, the first time it was like, okay, and then 3 minutes later, it was, hey, and they were like,
we didn't know we were traveling with DragonCon royalty. Like, what the fuck?
That was super funny.
That was so funny. I mean, it's just a coincidence, but it's and those people have now become our friends, and we're looking forward to seeing them again. But that was just so funny because they didn't expect that. We didn't expect it. They didn't expect it, and it was just So, Wayne,
so,
go ahead.
Story.
So mine was I made the Iron Man suit, the white one, and it did its thing on the internet, and it did well. Unilad and Business Insider picked it up, so it went around. But at the time, I was still going to a lot of hardstyle rave parties here in the Netherlands.
Oh,
so I kind of like that. I had a phase like that in my life. But you know, all around. Oh, Mebaka Idiot is now following. Thank you very much. I'm starting to have problems reading myself now. But anyway, like on hardstyle parties, you know, hardstyle parties and hard drugs are kind of go hand in hand. So there was a lot of pill popping and cocaine sniffing going all around me, and I was just partying, and this guy, and he was like super jacked. Probably did steroids because he was like super muscle bound, and I was just, you know, I was dancing and partying, and he was like, his cocaine face, he was like going like this, and he kept looking
very well.
No, he kept looking at me, but he's like this jacked up guy, and I was like, what's up? And I was just like ignoring him, and then like I kept dancing and doing stuff, and my brother was there too, and I was like looked at him, talked to him, and then I looked back. He was still looking at me, so I just went like, I'm not standing for this. So I went up to him, was like, what's up? I was like, you keep staring at me, but you know, I was like, what's going on? It's like, aren't you that Iron Man guy?
oh, that's so cute.
I was like, yes, I am.
That is so cool.
So I was like, I did not expect to go out of all places, like lights and hard music and drugs. They were like, are you Iron Man? It's like, hands down. Weird. It's the weirdest place to get recognized.
That's super fun. That's awesome.
So yeah. Weird stuff all around, and but it just looks so weird because he's like totally spaced out, and he's like sweaty, and he was jacked and without his shirt. So it was,
what?
Yeah.
So
things go wild in the Netherlands. And,
So, but imagine if you're just there and somebody jacked without a shirt is staring at you for like minutes, like this. You're like, dude, what's it? You either walk away or you confront the dude. It's like, hey, my guy. It's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? So you want to come with me to the bathroom?
Come.
But you ever show you a good time? Get on my right arm.
I'll show you my Iron Man.
Burr.
Okay, talking about burns, we got some pictures lined up.
Yay!
Got some pictures lined
Oh
up.
no!
yeah.
Oh yes!
And we kind of have to because we've been streaming already for 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it goes fast. Your camera is a little bit going blocky.
Actually, it's yours.
Oh, we had that problem the last time too.
Yeah, so it's...
I don't know why.
Now it's clearing
It's
up.
happening.
Yep.
Maybe it's like after a while.
Lara is always
crispy
clear, but you were like super, you were like super wobbly.
Now everybody's okay again.
Yeah, you're wobbly again.
Oh.
It's probably you.
Well, now I'm recording this, so as long as everybody is fine here, then it's good. All right, so.
Nobody's fine ever since starting to watching this plot.
But that's another thing.
That's another thing. Okay, I have a few pictures of you guys lined up because you send them to me. I have 2 from Lara. I have 1 from me. I have 2 from Lara. And then I have one picture, one screen that's actually 2 pictures, and it's not related to roasting. It's just 2 images that I found online, and when I saw them, they were quite disturbing. So I'm gonna finish with that, and then I want to get the reactions.
You only found 2 disturbing pictures.
Yeah, it's not about roast. You'll see. I just wanted to throw it.
I know what we put out there, and you should have found more than 2 disturbing.
No. It's not related to the roasting. So.
Okay.
All right. So the first one. Let's see if this works. That's this one.
No.
So
the thing is, though, for the new people that are joining this, we last week we started to do the Roast My Cosplay thing, where people can upload their images. Nobody has uploaded anything, so we're just added our own.
Sabines just broke
again, but. Viewers here can roast them too. I know there's some Brazen and Bold pro fan lovers here, but this is your chance to.
Oh, they roasted the hardest.
They rip you anyway. So
you know what's the best?
Our
chat knows us best, so
they know where it hurts, and they are not. They're not the
They're not the forgiving kind.
I've been looking at this picture for a while since and the only thing that I can't really roast it. I only have a question. Is is that fan there for you to think you're going fast?
I think it was the summertime and it was really hot.
It was that was after Gamescom. That was after Gamescom, and it was end of August. It was freaking hot.
Oh, Scrimsage, yes, that's what Sonic looked like before the studio redid it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think it was the first time we actually got drunk on stream.
More than just.
Oh no.
No, it was the second time because when we celebrated your
no, but like
Christmas.
drunk. I was blitzed at that point, and we had kind of teased the Sonic costume,
Sonic.
and there was just really no way of going around do it.
I take that back. This was not the post Gamescom. It was before. It was in early August, I think. Yeah.
I was. Yeah. Right. I have no excuse for that.
Funny as hell.
It's just.
All right.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is.
I look like a little blue jelly bean.
I think Lara, I think we have a new. Is this the blue one?
Jackbox one.
That's from last week.
What's going on in here?
We had last week we had it on stream. We had Lara in one of her first cosplays of Nightcrawler, but it looked like she had Mickey Mouse gloves on. So it was just blue Mickey Mouse.
They do look like.
I'm not
accurate.
Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah, that was the Jackbox one. I'm not even ashamed of it. It's just
it's beautiful.
Too good.
No, never be ashamed of something like that.
The longer I look at it, the less I understand it. I don't know.
We were there and we don't understand it. So
first I was running around like back and forth in front of the camera, kind of just
Sandy.
gotta go fast.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
I don't think. I think
Okay.
I'm
you
just gonna go for it. This is
Awesome. That's me.
It's you.
This looks like the sushi I had yesterday.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's my very, very, very first mask ever. I don't think I've ever posted it on social media before. That was
Yeah, we did. We posted it on Instagram once, and we posted it on.
yeah, but it didn't do well then, and I don't think it.
No.
It looks kind of fishy.
It's doing well now.
Sabine, don't be so shellfish.
Yes. Just the way you're just
crabby.
standing there with your hands in your pocket, like
It's like, yep, just another day at the office.
Yeah,
take the photo already.
Grimsage, that's my face when I get stuck in DragonCon elevator with 30 people who haven't showered. Exactly.
oh.
Surprise fishman face.
Surprise fish.
Grimsage counter 3.
Sabine is talking crab again.
I'm talking crap.
Matt won in a seafood pun contest against a Florida girl, so he's good.
I should
While eating seafood
While
at the
eating
seaside. I think that's like being Pokemon champion.
Yeah.
Has to be when it comes to puns.
And she was good. She was good as well.
I should have
Yeah.
an air horn here for like best roast.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see if I
We
can
need
get that
that.
for the next stream.
Good.
Best roast air horn. All right.
It also kind of looks like in the one she's kind of me in the streets versus me in the sheets.
No.
But which one is which?
That's
That's the question. I don't know, but somehow it doesn't look like the same mask. Like it
That's
looks,
right.
It's
it
because of
looks
the eye.
different.
And it's because of the like on the right picture, the eye on the far right looks different
Yes,
to me, like in the other one.
Yeah.
So,
yes. That's a
just a
little
weird
weird.
bullshit mask all around. Wait.
I think we still have it.
really?
Oh no!
Oh, where did I put it?
Live demonstration.
We still have it? Is it maybe outside?
Yeah, there it is. Here it is.
We
Oh,
still have it. We still have
Actually,
it.
still have it.
wait, you need to turn on the switch
got
the
it,
scenes.
Got it. The camera is still being a little bit blocky, so I hope move a little bit closer to the camera. Yeah, now people can
Oh.
really see.
Put on for old time's sake.
Yay!
It is shit, but it's not that bad for being
Oh,
shit.
Grimsage has to leave for a meeting. Thanks for the stream.
No!
Oh no!
Well,
Not
thank
the
you for-
Master General.
Well, he was there since the beginning, so you know it's he spent 2 hours with us. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Grimsage.
Bye, Grim.
Okay, so we're back on the fishy head picture. Alright. So the next one is I don't even remember what the next one is. So let's just go. Oh, it's me. Yeah, this was me in my Halo Emil Halo Reach Emil suit. But look, I don't know if you can clearly see my face because I can't because it's like really tiny here because it's on the second stream. But my face is just like this. Like that's my
Like the
face
fish,
in that
like our
picture.
fish mask.
Yes.
You're cosplaying our fish mask.
I couldn't find a different picture. I couldn't find really a different picture, and I don't even remember who these people are. I just added it to add something for myself.
Mario.
For me, it's
Same.
like for me, it's like you're the crisis counselor, and you're kind of intervening in a marriage dispute between Mario.
The first thing I thought, and this
You
is,
are a cheating whore!
And the best part is that Peach looks like she has like a thinking bubble over her
Oh
head.
yeah!
Oh my
Why is
god!
there no text in it? Why is there no text in
Like a
it?
small
I didn't
Oh
even
my
notice that.
And
Oh
now you
God.
can unsee.
Yes, now you
You
can
cheating whore! You cheat on me with the powder!
kind of does look like retired Mario.
Nothing to see here, man.
Maybe that's kind of a good idea. I mean, it's a nice thought bubble. So.
Peach probably broke spaghetti in two.
Traditore della
Della patria! You broke the spaghetti in the two! Traditore della patria, Dio porco! What are you laughing about? There's a broken man on the screen! And there's a big muscle man standing between him and his wife!
I don't think like people.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I need to hide this superpower of mine for distraught Mario voices.
But this was my first judging event, I think, even the Mario.
Oh,
was
yeah.
first. This was my this is in an old church, and yeah, this
I
was
see,
my first event. As
The
a-
only
as a
thing you
judge.
seem to be
I
judging
did
those.
not get paid.
You look like you came from the electronic festival. You were like right before that.
It's like I'll take this
Yes.
gig.
You still have the lights on and everything.
All right, let's go to the next one, and that is.
It's me.
No, it's not. That's the next one is you.
Oh yeah!
It's our lovely
Oh, you
guest.
see the pimp boy and the pimp boy?
Oh yeah, you see the golden pimp boy on my wrist?
Ah,
It
yeah.
has strass stones. Not
Pimp
strass
boy.
stones.
Are they called that?
Strasssteinchen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you
I
say
thought it's like whatever.
Spaß. They, like,
It's like small crystals.
yeah.
Rhinestones.
plastic crystals.
Rhinestones.
rhinestones.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome. These are the costumes we
Excuse me.
unquote made.
Excuse me. Do you have a man bun there? He's
no.
backing out. He's backing away.
I used to have hair until
Nobody
here.
can see.
Oh damn!
He had longer hair than me, and not me now, but me
And
then.
And now it's all short.
My hair was waist long, and his was too.
but that was like 7 years ago or 6 years ago.
That
So
was our
our very first convention ever
That was,
in Austria.
no, that was
Ooh. Okay, what
we didn't go to convention.
what can we roast about this though? Not much. 'Cause it's
No.
hard to. I'm not good at this. Like on the spot roasting.
I think I didn't. My shoes are pretty dirty, and that's actually.
Look at you, you're so funny.
Air horn.
Hey, listen! Shut up when I'm talking.
Ooh.
So my shoes are pretty dirty. That's not a roast, you idiot. But I think they are still the same now. Like
Yeah,
5
boots are
years
supposed to be
later.
dirty.
Yeah.
I just noticed. I'm not trying. Wasn't trying to roast our pictures. I've never seen them.
That's totally fine.
You wanna-
Well, the man bun is horrible, but I don't
No, it's not.
I don't mind it. It's
No.
I mean, it wasn't really. I mean, we put so much time into altering those pre-existing blue jumpsuits that we
Yeah.
probably could have just started out to do.
That's the reason I didn't did why I didn't did the next.
Yeah, but we actually altered an old. No, like
I did.
we.
You made the props and I did the.
There's no I in team, Johanna.
Aw.
Aw.
Only in marriage, as in I'm gonna leave you if you keep.
Oh.
Do you have-
But the man bun fits to the sunglasses and the pimp boy, so that's okay.
True. Okay, and now for my favorite part is pictures of Lara.
Yay!
Yay.
So she has two. So
Yes.
This is the first one. Wacha.
Oh, that's cool.
No, that's
Walmart Spoderman.
yes.
Older man.
Spodermin.
Spodermin. What did you do? Did you just put on old clothing and climbed up a tree?
That was even before. I think there were 2 others between.
So I would say I would title this picture when you are a recluse but still totally metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Those shoes, I still have them, by the way. They are 4 sizes too big for me. I found them at a thrift store for €2. I was like, I need those shoes. They fit for my casual Spider-Man cosplay. Yeah. Yes.
What Spider-Man is that from?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Oh, the
now I'm sad.
The Garfield one.
The first movie with Andrew Garfield, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next picture.
This was a tree at like right next to my parents' home. Yes.
They've been looking out at the window, like, oh, look at that. We spent so many years trying to give Lara everything and want in
That's
life.
our girl.
And that's what she does. Climb up trees and do the evil eye symbol at us.
You do you, girl. You do you.
Actually, this was
failed as parents.
This was the first wig I owned. So
And then your Frost is leaving.
I was afraid to ask if it is a wig.
And then your
It is
Frost
a wig.
is leaving, so she got to go. Food
Bye,
awaits.
Julie.
Bye, Julie.
bye.
Goodbye. You're
Bye,
missing,
Papa.
you're missing the
Enjoy
last
your
picture.
The best picture.
The best picture is Lara. Bam.
Drum roll.
Oh, this is amazing.
No.
That is
This was my first convention. I think it was also the first day of my first convention. It was Gamescom.
Innocent Lara.
Is that a missing no on your skirt?
No, it's incognito. Incognito.
Incognito, yeah, exactly. Not missing.
When Budget Ash Ketchum tries to interfere with
I mean,
the
the Team Rocket costumes are pretty cool, and the ass cat, the ass catcher,
ass catcher.
but that Magikarp is honestly considering suicide.
frightening.
And me,
I
I'm a water Pokemon. I should not.
I sued the
It's
cover of
dying.
that Magikarp by hand completely.
Wow.
I still have
Wow.
it somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I don't think this is now more of a roast. This is more of like looking back in horror of old cosplay, which is
Why,
still fine.
Lara, but at least we know that your look changed.
That was a roast.
I'm sorry, please
That was
don't.
a good roast. I'm proud of it.
Because the first time I met Lara, actually, she probably doesn't remember, was at RPT,
Yes.
and she didn't, because we had talked online before, and I went up to her like, hey, how you doing? And she looked at me like,
You are not in a good mood.
you were not in a good mood. I'm like,
Whatever.
I'm never in a good mood.
Yeah, well, it was pretty obvious that
you were not interested in having any sort of conversation.
So the last picture is the picture that I wanted to show you. That just by looking at it, I was like, ugh, because I was looking at some some hot glue stuff, some hot glue logos maybe to post like,
Oh, yeah.
we're online, and I found.
Oh no!
I
Oh no!
found
You
this.
oh no!
I found this, and this was like.
Ah! the fuck?
Those are like artist renditions of a medical hot glue device to hot glue wounds.
Oh my god! Everyone has burned himself with a hot glue gun or herself with a hot glue gun in this room. That is not something you want to see a medical professional coming with you. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix you right up.
Yeah.
So much.
This hurts
Oh.
looking at it.
Oh.
Yes, it does.
I get the chills from
I was afraid, Wayne,
That is-
because if you move in certain circles of the internet, hot glue content is actually this is not gonna it's not gonna get monetized, right?
No.
So it's a certain type of fetish where people ejaculate onto plastic figurines.
What?
Yeah. So they buy those really expensive anime figurines, like $300-400,
No.
and then they hot glue them.
Hot glue them. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fetish thing. So I was like,
I'm putting us back on image now. We're in video.
Okay.
Again. Just putting that out there.
disgusting faces.
yeah, look. On our side, it's Wayne who's blurry, and on this side, it's us. Weird.
Yeah. So I
That's
don't know.
weird.
I don't know why. I
I think
mean,
the left side is just blurry.
That can be
maybe Discord is just after hours or like get away you people.
We need our servers
Please,
back.
fuck off.
So yeah, no, but our follow animation GIF is from Orphan Black, and that's where a guy gets locked up in a crafting room with some psycho bitch, and she's like, "Oh, I know you're following me and espionaging me and blah blah blah," and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, "Talk, you will admit it," and he doesn't really know what the fuck she's talking about. So she grabs a hot glue gun and she just squirts it on his bare chest, and that's like wait I can do the test widget of follow, but you need to keep looking at the screen. So I'm gonna do it now so you can see it.
Nice. Nice.
So that's when people follow.
That's good. Good choice.
Yes.
You get like I found it like already. It was like I was looking for like hot glue gifs, and that was the one I found. But then Lara was at my place, like, where the hell is that from? And we watched the clip on YouTube from the series, and it goes like he's locked in this crafting room, and he sees like markers and kid scissors, and it all looks like happy-go-lucky crafting room, but there's this sinister music playing, and you're like, oh, this guy's
Okay.
gonna get it.
Can I ask you a question while we're still on the topic? What's the worst you've injured yourself while crafting or cosplaying?
I sat on a heat gun.
Okay.
On a hot heat gun.
I think I have a hot glue scar somewhere on my arm here where I don't. It was all contact glued up and was fine, but I reinforced it on the inside with like hot glue, and I don't know how, because it was a big piece. I think it was for the loot box even, so it was often like standing like on one side really big. So I did like on the bottom I did I think some seams reinforcing, and then I turned it around to do these seams, but this was not hardened out yet, so it went like this big blob and like and just like whack, just the speed and the amount was just.
And then you when you touch it, but you can't get it off, then
Well, the thing
you
was,
literally have to wait until it's cooled off so you can pull it off.
yeah, but
the worst.
The thing that made it the worst is because the reaction was So I touched it and it tore. No, but I hit it sideways, so I did tore off the hot glue, but it tore off skin with it because the reaction was like and just like hotness and skin burning and tearing, and it became like this open gash kind of thing. I still have the scar somewhere. I can't find it. Sorry. The other one was like a heat gun that I mounted,
and then I turned it on, and it was on for like 20 minutes straight because I just hold pieces, and then I was rotating for heat sealing them. Next one, and then I didn't have any parts with me handy, so I turned it off. I put it on the side. I grabbed parts, and then I put it, and then my elbow just hit the metal part because I put it aside, and then it was like, it's just super hot metal. It was like on like the tip of your elbow, like.
I had this on my chin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't you lean over?
I used the hot glue, the heat gun, and then I turn it on the back and just put it there to rest, and then I leaned over it for some reason to get something from behind, and with my chin here on the round, and that hurt like hell, and on the chin that is.
No.
Ouch.
Manus Creations is saying, touch the long cylinder part of the soldering iron. Yeah, I've burned myself on soldering iron.
Yeah.
That's a comment.
Because it's a very like short pain.
But it's intense.
It's very intense, but I think hot glue is like because of the consistency.
And because it stays there.
Yeah. For
because
me,
with the heat gun and with the soldering iron, you remove the heat source, but not with the hot glue.
For me, today I lost a bit of fur because I was doing some resin casting and a little bit of my arm, and I realized it. And then was like a big patch of resin, and you have to just pull it off. But it's not worse than like any sort of waxing. But the worst I've ever hurt myself was a couple of months ago. I had a really, I don't know what happened. I didn't feel like I was having a bad day, but I wasn't really focused, I guess. And I needed to trim a mask, so I would take the mask like this, and take one of my box cutters.
I know where
I see where this is going.
No. The thing is, I trimmed the mask, and then I cut myself a little because I had my finger up a little bit more than I usually have it, and okay, that's not bad. It was bleeding a little bit. I put on some super glue, and kept working, and like an hour or like 2 hours later, I cut the exact same spot, like precisely the same spot, just deeper this time. And I was like, it was so painful.
Yeah.
Okay,
it was like the worst because that didn't heal for days.
There was one story that I've read. And because you guys work with resin a lot, so you can really relate. It was an Australian guy, Halo making community. I don't know if he's still active, but I had him on Facebook at the time. The thing was, he was always like safe with doing anything casting, but what he did was I think he was casting a ODST helmet or a helmet in general. He put in like smooth cast and it was roto casting and stuff, and then it was like for a few layers already, I think. He put it down and he had the protection on, but it was kind of done. It was done to the point that it doesn't sag anymore, so he just had to wait for the next layer. But he took off the mask. And then he cleaned up some, and in a fluke of stupidity, I'll call it, because he made a post about this like on his own social media like way back. He looked inside, like the opening of the bottom of the mold. He looked inside to see if the resin was kicking, and right in the moment that he looked and breathed in, it was kicking. So what happened was he breathed in semi-curing resin fumes. He was choking. He had to go to the hospital in the emergency. He had to be put on like oxygen and shit. He made posts about it that it was like he was still conscious and stuff. But what happens if for those who are like unfamiliar for watching this on YouTube, if you're unfamiliar with like casting and stuff, like resin casting, when you mix the two components and
Polyurethane resin,
yeah, polyurethane resin, and it's kicking. It's like the hardening process, but it's exothermic. It generates heat. That heat will make it rise, and if you breathe that in, basically what you get on your lung capillaries, the thing that makes like your blood oxygenated, is it will get covered in resin bits that are curing. So you really don't want to breathe that shit in. And he whiffed in a full amount of like...
Did he say what product he used? Because not every product is the same.
It might have been Onyx Black, because that had that problem.
Yeah.
Because they pulled one of the products. Because, for example, when I do our masks, it's an open face mask, so I don't have a very clean environment. But with a helmet, it's all closed and it all stays. It's like a bong rip out of a very, very nasty bong.
Yes.
But whenever I do the casting, I always first I open up a window, touch it or whatever. But there's definitely some products that have more of that effect and some that are less. For example, this stuff here, 65D, even as it's hottest, it's not that bad and it doesn't develop too much.
We mainly use 65D, and the 65D doesn't...
Nuts! Sorry.
And the 65D... We mainly, almost exclusively, use smooth-on products that are...
Not sponsored by Smooth On.
No. But you are willing to get it, though.
That are rated for indoor use.
Yeah.
So indoor and not necessarily...
It could have been, I think it was either Onyx Black that he used or Smoothcast 300, because he was just casting helmets. So it might have been either one, but like he made
300? Yeah, that can be.
300?
I know, because I got
a
a
post about it later when he was recovered.
Onyx Black once.
Yeah,
Onyx Black, you can smell it through the door when you step outside the
and they
workshop.
changed the formula.
I mean, Smooth On is pretty good when it comes to changing formulas and making stuff as non-toxic as possible. I've definitely seen cosplay materials that are way more harmful than...
And it depends on how much you use, because in a helmet you use a lot. Because when you do like an open mask, you don't need that much, and so it doesn't get that hot for all the fumes to come out.
Or it could have also been that maybe he put a lot of glass, maybe some glass fiber in it.
No, it was the mold already of a helmet. So it's already like this big round shaped mold with just one opening up top. So like the entire walls are coated, of course, because you're like rotocasting. And it all of that fumes get focused into that one entry hole, and he just stuck his face in it to look and went like he just breathing, but he managed to breathe it. It was stupidity on his own part and poor timing. It's just unfortunate that he looked inside as it was kicking, as he was breathing in, and all those combined led to like him breathing in the worst fumes that you could possibly have.
Hope he's doing better now. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, I think he is. I'm not sure if he's still active. I haven't seen any posts from him. It could be that he's just not.
An acquaintance of ours, Hoku Props, lost an eye with a Dremel. You know Hoku Props?
Yeah. I didn't know he lost it. I thought it was pre-cosplay, but it apparently is not.
No, he lost eyesight in one eye due to a rot, like a Dremel.
Wasn't it? I read a post from him, I think a year ago, when he was talking about it. Wasn't it like a gas chamber exploding?
Oh no! He built his own. Oh, that's it. He built his own pressure pot, I think.
Yes, something
that's
like
it.
this.
I'm sorry that was somebody else then, but somebody else died.
Well, Bloody Baroness is saying I slung a jigsaw blade into my eye, so maybe maybe that's the one you're confused with.
She has both her eyes.
Yeah.
I know her.
But what he did? He made a pressure pot? Why? What did it? What?
I don't know.
I have to read it up though. It was something where he himself said that it was a bad call.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
maybe let's end on a more upbeat note.
Yeah, but he kind of like it's nice that he made something like that. Like you're losing an eye, so you're losing a lot, I'd say. But like when you see what he did with his Reinhardt cosplay, he like
Yeah,
he made it his own. He made it into a super positive thing. Just
Yeah,
like
he
you know,
owned
and
it.
fuck it.
Or Cable.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was looking for. He just owned it. It's like I'm
Well,
losing an eye now. I'm
totally.
gonna make a Reinhardt eye. So that was like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, my guys, I'm looking at the timer. It's been 2 hours and 18 minutes now.
Oh.
So it goes.
You
It
guys
goes
should have us
very
back at
fast.
some point.
Yes, we will for sure. But for now, I think it's been long enough.
Yes.
So I think we can, if we go on, we'll easily get to 3 and 4 hours. But we have to also kind of like manage the time.
Go
I
to
mean,
sleep.
How about we do another one of these and we get drunk while we're doing that, and we do it on the weekend?
Or when we're over there for YumiCon, at least me and Angela. I mean,
You stay one day.
Lara, you're welcome to join. I mean,
Lara, you should come. I mean,
you stay one day longer.
because we always do
We
our
always stream
podcast.
on Monday.
yeah, on Monday you do it. Yeah.
If you stay for
When
one
is
day
it?
or 2 days longer, you're more than invited. Lara, you as well. I don't know
When
what
was-
would bring
when
you
was
to this
YumiCon
backward of a country, but
When was YumiCon again?
November,
October.
November, I
That's
think.
a long way off.
Mhm.
It's a while. I mean, I don't think we're going to be in Germany this year because there's really been
But then
Offers-
Brexit might be here as well.
yeah. So basically
Also,
this
who
year.
knows if we're gonna go to any con if
Yeah.
things happen, continue to happen like they do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I
Hey,
don't know.
maybe
What's
people will be
what's
so-
your let's close on something something that seems popular.
Coronavirus.
COVID-19. Do you are you? I know there are some worries about it. I mean, from what I've seen, it's shit for people who are like the elderly, immunoresponse. If your own immune
Boomers,
system, yes,
Oh.
or if your immune system is shot or you're taking medication that lowers your immune system, you're in big trouble. But if you're just a healthy like person, for example, of our age, the thing is, apparently, I've read people that like actual interviews of people that say that it's the flu is worse, but that's only if you're like a healthy
No.
person.
No,
It
because
might vary, but that's the stuff that I read. Maybe I read crap articles, but you know.
no, the flu it spreads faster than the flu, and it has double the mortality rate of the flu and way
Okay.
more complications. So that's the
thing is that
reason
it's-
why everybody.
Okay.
It might
the-
be, but the problem is it
And it's
spreads
new.
so much that it's
Yeah.
so easy to get, and that's why it's.
But to keep it like in our circles, now with everything spreading, are you fearful of going to events?
Nah,
No,
I don't value my life.
I just yesterday. No, in fact, I just came back from Munich yesterday.
And boys are my arms tired. Sorry.
No, me neither. I'm like, I'm Dutch Comic Con is at the end of the month. We're just going. I mean,
Yes.
I'm seeing memes all over the place. It's like, yeah, like they make good points that they say, like, yeah, a lot of con people don't even know how to use deodorant, so I'm worried now because they really won't wash their hands. So, you know.
Can I tell you one story about
I
this?
mean, it's fun because we are. At least I am, and at the moment, in the meantime, he's too. I'm when traveling, I'm a little bit hand wash.
Sanitizer.
No, hand wash fanatic.
Yeah.
Sanitizer, yes, but washing your hands with soap is obviously the better thing. So I
You see
would
the
say,
John Oliver thing with wash the hand?
oh yeah, you
It's
should
so
totally
good.
watch that. The John Oliver piece on COVID-19 is great. No, I'm washing my hands all the time anyway. But when like on the airport, in airplane, traveling, constantly wash my hands, and I just wish that everybody would do it because that's the best way. So I'm not fearful, but I'm also not like careless because care.
You're a
So
little
two
bit,
things
you're
about
a little
that.
bit more cautious. You're like you're
Lara,
just
We went to RPC, the last real RPC together, I think. Did you get the con crud that time around? Because I was puking the whole way from Cologne back to Vienna.
Oh god.
I was sick for 5 days, and ever since then I started being very, very, very careful.
And our first dragon.
And I think I was patient 0 at Dragon Con 2 years ago. Because I came over and I was a bit sick from the flight, and I had some sort of gastrointestinal problem. And I later heard that a lot of people were sick at Dragon Con. So it might have been me. It was nothing too I mean,
It was pretty shitty because we were sick for a week each.
Yeah. Okay.
And usually I seem to be immune to any norovirus because I never get it. So everybody gets it. I don't. So this is great. But the Dragon Con bug I got, and I was sick for a week.
And then in the United States, and you think food, and you could do so many things, and the only thing you actually want to do is lay and have some water and ice.
And rice.
And rice.
Like just plain rice with nothing. That's not fun.
That sucked, yeah.
No.
So I'm paranoid on airports, trains,
no,
public
but basically the
but
only thing you don't tongue punch some stranger and
lick your hand.
Lick your hand. Like
it spreads so easy because the incubation period is so long. With the flu, it's 1 to 3 days. With Corona, it's 7 to 14 days. Yeah, that's true. And you can also spread it when you're not showing symptoms. So that's where, like, there's a big con coming up in America, the Emerald City Comic Con. I've read reports that so far the city is not gonna cancel. That they're just gonna continue it, but there are like cautionness. I know at my job they've put out precautions. They've put more hand sanitizers everywhere, alcohol wipes, and I know that companies are also like kind of like protecting their employees or giving them the means to be more safe. So if you have conventions out there, let's just close it off with like a service announcement for whoever watches this in the coming weeks. If you're going to a convention, just bring soap or bring like hand gel sanitizers if you can get it, or maybe just some alcohol wipes. If you're going to conventions and you're worried about it, just it spreads through like drops, they say. I don't know the literal translation, but yeah, the general advice they give is just wash your hands, don't touch your face a lot.
Should we show how it works?
Yeah, he's just.
That might be the most stupid injury.
I was like, do this to your hand.
He was panicking for 1 second.
Oh, it didn't come out.
I mean, if that is the
I was
reason,
trying to say, like,
if that is
disinfect your hand.
That is the reason why people finally learn to wash their hands all the time, then hallelujah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was at one of the bigger grocery store chains in the Netherlands, and we didn't need soap because we have soap, so that's fine. So we just went there to check because we were doing groceries anyway. So we went to the soap aisle just to see if there was soap. The entire rack was not only sold out, but at every like tray there was, this product is temporarily not available. So that means that all of their like warehouses where they ship it out from is also gone. So now people suddenly realize, I have to wash my hands, really. It's like,
at the crafting store where I usually buy supplies, Bauhaus, here close by, they have 2 huge trowels full of breathing masks, like set up right like next to the checkout. They weren't there before. I'm there every second week, and they just carted 2 big wheelbarrows full of those basic sanding masks, which don't help at all. But everybody would look at them and maybe then grab 2 packages. It's like, it's interesting.
Yeah. I was at the dentist, and they even said like it's hard for us to get like the medical ones now because people are hoarding them like crazy.
Yeah.
And now medical professionals are getting difficulty to get them, and they have to treat people, so it's even more important for them because they have to treat like the masses, and they're already running out. It's
and actually the only people who should be wearing them are That's
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, all right. So we're near.
what a great ending.
What a great ending. Just, if you have a con coming up, just be safe. Wash your hands. And if you're really paranoid about it, there's a lot of hugging going on at conventions. If you're really not comfortable with it, just say no. It's like, I get sick easy, so I like you, but it's like, and just avoid the free hugs people. Just avoid them no matter if there's corona or that's separate from corona. Just ignore them always.
Like if you didn't ignore them before, now is the best time to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, a friendly fist bump or like an elbow bump is also very nice.
An elbow bump would be better than.
Like an elbow bump. Like I used to do that.
We were doing that. I was on a business trip, on a workshop on Tuesday, and nobody was shaking hands. Nobody. Everybody was like elbow bumping. That was actually fun.
It's exactly. But it's just make it something different. So like it doesn't matter if it looks weird because if you want to take some precautions now, it's a thing that is holding the world in its grip. There is a lot of conventions going on. There are thousands of people there.
And it's not a parallel universe where I often feel like in cosplay or on these conventions that we tend to ignore real life issues.
Yeah.
But this is one where you just can't close your eyes and pretend to not be there. You just have to be conscious.
The Bloody Baron has to say, like, oh my god, I totally forgot about the free hugs people. Yeah, just stay away. And
No.
If you
think about it this way. This is natural selection. They're the first to go, and I'm personally not sorry to see them go.
So if you are a free hugs person that have one of those signs, just if you want to keep doing what you love, that's fine. But wait till a fucking vaccine is made, and then you can go back to your free hugs. So,
I would say if you're a free hugs person, if you're a free hugs person, take your sign that you have, roll it into a tube, shove it down your throat,
or up your ass,
and jump off a bridge. How about that?
Or
fuck off.
Or if you're really persistent and you don't want to listen to him, just have your free hug sign, but have like disinfectant spray with you. So.
Turn it. There's one. I love one. There's like free shrugs. I love that one.
Or on a dog, free bark.
Free barks is always good. But actually having a guy run around with a dispenser in front, like put it in.
Oh my god! Next cosplay idea.
But wouldn't that top part of the pushing area be the most
he has to do that.
place?
No, he has a glove on and he does it for you.
He has to do it. Yeah.
So you go up and one or two pumps, my dear. 3, I'm feeling extra dirty today.
Oh no!
You get free corona.
Oh yes!
All right.
Oh god!
We're gonna stop it at the.
We're never getting invited ever again.
Oh yes, you are. This is perfect. All right. For anybody who has stuck around this long, if it's on YouTube or Twitch, 2.5 hours, then props to you. You are truly devoted. You are truly devoted. So thanks for watching. If you want to follow either of us or like the guests, we'll have all the follow stuff in the description on YouTube below. Brazen and Bold, I said it in the beginning, I'll end with it. They are streaming every Monday, European time. So what time do you start? Around
8 p.m.
8 p.m. So if you want to just see that magical blue wall of them, well, they make stuff and craft and all that stuff and argue with each other and have a really active chat, by the way. Anytime that I've joined, there's like almost 20 people in there, and that's on low days, and it's really active and it's fun.
We have a great chat.
Kashi MT is now following.
Kashi! He's a friend of ours.
So thank you for still following at the end. So if you want
to
join
always
us,
comes at the end.
well, we're closing off. So hey, yeah, thanks again for watching. It's been 2.5 hours, but we really got to go. They're dancing away already. So
yeah, because there's sandwiches waiting for us.
oh,
We haven't eaten except for the.
really? Oh,
No,
shit.
I came to the workshop when we started, so
I
we
haven't
didn't have
eaten
time
all
to
day.
Oh, I finished a giant Pokeball before I started the podcast.
Surprise Pikachu face.
Do I still have it? Yeah, I do. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'm stopping it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.